Hello everyone. In this short video, we have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Bo Bates, which is the president of the Evans Delivery Network of companies. Huge revenue in sales, over $1 billion, person who has very vast amounts of experience in the trucking industry. I highly recommend you check this video out. I'm sure you'll learn something, and I hope you take something of value. Hello everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This is Martin with Steadfast and Orion. And today we would like to talk to people about what we do for a living, but not only what we do for a living, we're talking to someone important within our company, and we feel that it's actually a very good thing to talk to people about. And let's see how this goes. I don't know. In front of us we have Mr.
Bo Bates.
and does.
I'm the CEO, president of Evans Delivery Company and our affiliate companies.
For those of you guys who do not know, my wife and I are agents for the Evans Delivery Company. We have our own trucks, we do our own thing, but we actually do everything out of the Evans Delivery Company here in Pennsylvania. Without them, quite honestly, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. First question I would like to ask Mr. Bo is, how did you get into the trucking industry?
Just so everyone knows, this is not a scripted interview, so I don't
No,
know
it's
if
not.
questions are coming. I'm married into the business. So my dad had his own engineering firm. I went to school to be an engineer. I thought I would work in an engineering company, but I married my wife 38 years ago, and her grandfather is Mr. Evans, who founded Evans Trucking Company. So I've been in the business now for 32 years.
32 years. That's a lot more than we were. And in those 32 years, what changes have you seen?
Oh gosh, the business has adopted a lot of technology, like you and I were talking about earlier. The way we move data and documents around is so different than it was. Safety and compliance rules and regulations are so much different than they were. Whether that means currently today electronic logging, drug screening didn't exist when I started. Individual drivers could have driver's licenses in multiple states at the same time. So there's been a lot of things that happen in safety and compliance. And most of all, I would suggest it's just become a more professional business over the number of years.
Yeah, regulations definitely did something to that, huh?
Yes, yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it.
And about Evans Delivery, what is it that they do? What do they provide people with, or what?
So I describe the business this way to people that have never heard of us even. Our business, from how it is structured, looks like a franchise. As silly as it might sound, think of us like Subway. I am Subway. I have a name, I have a name brand, I have a presence in the marketplace, and I go out and recruit store owners like yourself to open their own store in a local community, in a local market. And the store owners are customer service people, and they're dispatchers, and they're driver recruiters, and they're really down doing what I call the trucking piece of the business. And what Evans Delivery does, we provide an operating system, an IT platform to let that business run and to capture all the transactions. We handle the money, provide insurance, and provide IT. So we're really a back office service provider for our local agents who, I'm guessing when people talk to you about what you do, they think of you as a trucking company.
Correct.
And we provide a lot of services to a lot of small local trucking companies in various markets around.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Just so people know, we don't own the name. We base ourselves off the Evans Delivery, but without them, like I said, the insurance is the biggest deal for us. That's one of the biggest things that drew us into not doing our own thing. So finding someone like Evans Delivery, if you're looking for something like that, it's definitely going to help you a lot. So I would recommend definitely reaching out to Evans Delivery or somebody of that nature, especially Evans, and go about it that way. And to be honest with you, even if you're in trucking, you're going to have investors, you're going to have venture capitalists. There's a lot of people that are going to want in. So why not deal with someone that you know you're going to be comfortable with? They're going to provide you with all the back end things, the rental of equipment, the insurance and whatnot, and it's just going to be your baby. At the end of the day, it's still your baby. They let you go, they let you work, as long as you don't do anything crazy, you'll be okay. Okay, as far as qualities in agents, What is a good quality for an agent to have?
So let's talk about where agents come from, and that might kind of lead into that conversation. To be successful in it as an agent, you have to have driver relationships. You have to, in my opinion, have at least some friends, family members, former drivers from other employment, but you have to have some driver relationships to be able to get your business up and running. At the same time, you have to have some customer relationships. Who trusts you enough, believes that you know enough about transportation that they will entrust you with their shipments, and they will let you handle that business on their behalf. So a great agent is a great driver recruiter, is a great salesperson, is a great customer service person. They take care of the driver, they take care of the shipping customer, and they also take care of the business in an orderly fashion. So they're doing.
So basically, it helps. It helps if they already have trucks
Absolutely.
or have customers.
Absolutely. It's very, very difficult to start a business without at least some truck following and some customer following. Yeah, if you have neither, it's almost impossible to start up.
Yes. No, I agree. My wife's very good with the customer side of things, and I'm better at the driver side of things. That's how we kick it off on our side. All right. Okay. What's something I can ask this question to you? What's something that's like a sticker shock to new agents when they first, like something they don't understand about the business model?
Maybe not the business model, but in the intermodal space as well, just how easy it is for per diem or equipment rental charges to consume every penny of profit you might make. So when you take equipment out of the port or out of the ramp and you have it out on the street, it's very easy for that cost to get away from an agent, and I think sometimes there's a sticker shock with that.
Yeah.
That's probably the one in the intermodal space.
I think that's what got us too. At the beginning, we didn't know what was going to come in 30 or 45 days.
Yes.
That would, yeah. If you're going to become an agent, you have to know those things.
Documentation, you mentioned it earlier when you and I were speaking before your program. The fact that you should take notes and document everything about a transaction, because if 95 transactions go exactly as according to plan, that's great. The 5 that don't, who was late, why were they late, was the door locked when you got there, was there a big rain like we had yesterday where there was a gully across the driveway, you certainly couldn't get there. But drivers and agents document when something doesn't go correctly, so that you have this information 6 months from now when the problem comes around.
Because it comes around.
And it will come around.
Yeah.
It sure does.
That's another one. We had a bill a year later that came in one time, and we had to pay $1,800. So take your notes. At the end of the day, take your notes. Okay? Real quick, I didn't want to go too long with it. It was a last minute thing, but it was a great last minute thing. All right, I like asking some like pop quiz / fire round questions just
Quick
to see
answers.
how people, yeah.
There you go.
All right. Do you think something could be done about trucking for drivers to be more business minded, or is it going to stay the same the way it is?
Well, I think that drivers are a lot more business-minded than they were before. As you and I were speaking, the technology is so much better. We have more power in our back pocket with our cell phones now than we did a decade ago on PCs. So the idea that we have access to online direction, online notes, we can keep track of our past practices, and our phone helps us do that. So I think drivers are getting more professional all the time. They understand their businesses in a financial sense a lot better than I think the image from decades ago was. This was a highway of the cowboy of the highway.
Cowboy, yeah.
Just go out and drive and have fun. I think these are business people out there, and they're doing a very good job running their business.
No, I agree. I've seen a change. At least I've been in trucking for 17 years. When I started to where we are now, I do see a difference.
Yes.
Not everybody, but a lot of different than it used to be. At least in the 2000s when I started.
I agree.
Okay, now two more. In 10 years, do you see trucking being the same or changing? And if you see it changing, in which ways?
So I'm going to answer the question in the affirmative twice. I see it the same. What do we mean by that? One of the things I've always said that I like about this business is I don't think that our driving jobs will get farmed out overseas. This is a local job. It's a USA job. It's a home job. And I think that's going to continue to be 10 years from now. Notwithstanding any inroads from automated trucks, I still think they're coming, but I think they're a long ways out. that's a whole nother show. But I think a lot of trucking is going to be the same. We're going to have individual drivers, in our instance, that own their own trucks, and they'll continue to do their business the same way they do now. How will it change? Wow, the explosion of technology. We know more today than we knew yesterday, and the speed at which this new knowledge is coming is just outstanding, and it's amazing. So I think that some of the things we do, we were talking earlier about moving data and documents around, that is getting easier and more efficient, and I think those pieces of our job are going to get easier in ways you and I can't even fathom at this point. So I really think technology.
So do you think electric trucks will come before the autonomous trucks?
Electric possibly. I think both of those are a long way out for over-the-road trucking. The infrastructure for charging is simply not in place. And for automated, I think the comfort level with the driving public, with the motoring public is not where it needs to be. I know there are some real valid tests going on now, but for general adoption, I think that those technologies are a little way out for what we do for us.
No, I agree. All right, my last question, and it's not really, it's more of a, how do you see the Houston business? Like, the at least because we're from Houston, so do you see Houston business growing? The Port of Houston at least saying they're expanding.
Yes.
They keep saying that, they're digging, bigger trenches, whatever, but with this COVID stuff going on and everything, with China, it's slowing down, does Houston have a way to explode?
Yeah, I think so. I was talking, not with you earlier, but discussing earlier today, of all the markets where we operate. And this is a very simple measurement, but if I take the revenue from each of the different offices in Houston and roll them up and call that Houston revenue, our Houston revenue might be the only market that we operate in that this year, as we sit here today, is up year over year. And the single largest driver is the energy sector, right? All of the fracking and all the things going on in Houston. But Houston has a huge future in energy, a huge future in the project work. It's a huge project port, as you know. And as ships get bigger and bigger and bigger, it's got great water for big ships. So you're still going to have an awful lot of container traffic there as well. I was down last week, I was telling that, and every second truck is a container truck. So I feel as though the economy in Houston is outperforming the national economy, even as we sit here. And I have no reason to believe that that's going to change.
Awesome. That might be good for us. But no, thank you very much. This was last minute. I don't know. I mean,
it's against the rule here. There we go. I'll wash my hands as soon as
we'll get some
hand sanitizer.
But no, thank you for the time. I mean, I know you're a busy man. To take you away from that, I apologize.
Oh, I'm glad I walked by just in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip. I promise there's many more to come. I definitely enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope you could take something construction from this video, and we're looking forward to many more.